Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and wherever you're watching in the world, welcome along to TTL F1 League 1. This is round number 7 of season 17, which takes us to the Italian Grand Prix, the Temple of Speed. My name is Kieran McGinley, and joining me in the commentary box for tonight, I finally get to be reunited with him. It's the lovely Mr. James here. James, how are you tonight?
I'm doing really well, Kieran. How's yourself?
Yeah, not bad. Hopefully found the source of the problems that have been plaguing me for 2 weeks now. So hopefully everything is hunky-dory and nothing goes wrong. We've already had PlayStation and YouTube not being friends in terms of streaming. So what's been a bit of a faff for us, it should be nice and clean on your end where you can just view it through YouTube. We've had to go through lots of hoops and jumps to just get to where we are today. But we are here. And hopefully everything goes right, which once I've said that, it means everything will absolutely go wrong. But James, for the last 2 weeks then, I'm just looking at the drivers' table. I mean, 57 points, the gap to the leaders right now. We might as well, whilst we're here, take you through those championship standings. And you should be able to see them on your screen right now. As you can see, Calspur, 123 points, ahead of Toxic there on 66 points. Then it is Warren on 63 points. That is your top three. Following them then is Shapalele, Recon, Rafa, Thomas, Ashbest, Carlsbury, who is absent tonight, and Slimbo. And that is your top 10 there. Tied with him is Abu in that 10th place. Joint 12th is Lighty and Navy. Joint 14th is Leon Bentley and Spike. Cass 16th, Gort 17th, Sean 18th. Troy and Kelvin both on a point each in joint 19th. But as we make our way towards this qualifying session, obviously the Italian Grand Prix, 27 laps we'll have here tonight, 11 turns, 5.793 kilometres, and a race distance of around 156.411 kilometres. How did I work that out so quickly? Well, I mean, someone else does the maths and I take the credit for it, so all is good. But as we head to the Temple of Speed here, James, obviously we're expecting quicker lap times, maybe even 118s, maybe even lower than that. How do you see this one playing out?
Honestly, I think we're in for an absolute treat tonight. I said to you on the test stream that we were doing earlier on that it could be the rest of the season. And I stand by that every single time I say it, and it normally goes about 90% of the time wrong. So just watch out for that, I think, later on. But 27 laps, as you say, await the drivers out on track. Imagine this track like a boot, the shape of a boot. It is pretty much like that. So just imagine as we go through the turns and twist and turn through our corners tonight, we should see some great action out on track. It's a dry session, which I'm glad to say. Only the 14 drivers, but the main championship protagonists are here. Calspur, Toxic, the likes of, as well, the Warren, Chapelelli, Recon. They're going to be they're going to be trying to fight Calspur, I think, to try and claim some of that gap back. Calspur 57 points ahead of Toxic. Be very interesting to see what strategies they go on as well in qualifying.
Absolutely, and the first person to leave the pit box is Slimbo then, making his way down the pit lane. No, he's jumped by the racing point. Is that of Kelvin? It is indeed making his way towards the pit lane exit. It's a good thing the Ferrari saw him coming and applied the brakes there, but Kelvin then makes his way out onto track to be the first car out there for this qualifying session. In fact, no, he's not. It was the other.
Spike.
It was Spike. Oh, okay. So there we go then. I told you, if I say it's going to go right, it's going to go horribly, horribly wrong. Spike then on the hardest set of tyres possible. And as you can see, 3 drivers at the moment thinking about the hard tyres. That's the Gort, Spike and Sean at the moment. Spike's the only one out there on track committing to those tyres right about now. You've got Abu there on the medium tyres. It seems like medium tyres are not the way to go, James, for this one. I'm starting to think that the strategy is probably going to be softs to hard and maybe even hard to soft throughout this race. I don't think many drivers are going to use the medium tyres unless something goes wrong in their race.
Softs to hards, I think, is probably that one-stop strategy that most guys will probably go for out on the track. It is interesting to see, though, the likes of Spike, as you say, on a set of hard compounded tyres early on in qualifying. This is just really to get a feel of the track, how the lap times add up as well. So Spike going up towards Parabolica now, we should see some very good lap times, I think, here. Should see 119s, maybe 120s on a set of hards, and then we'll progressively get quicker and quicker as the session goes on. I wouldn't rule out a 117, to be honest, tonight.
Well, let's see what happens then. We're riding on board with Spike then as he takes us on a hot lap of the Monza circuit, making our way now down towards the Rettifilo chicane, braking as hard as possible in towards turns 1 and 2. The first lap through here is going to be very interesting, especially as turn 2 tightens on entry there. Then we head through turn 3, Curva Grande, famously where Vettel and Alonso went side by side through here, but it's got slight banking towards the apex, so you can carry even more speed through there. Now coming towards the Roger chicane, braking hard then for turns 4 and 5. Watch out for the sleeping policeman, then the gravel trap on the outside. You've got to thread the needle there in towards the first Lesmo, as you see the understeer on entry there, but gathered it up now towards the second Lesmo with that gravel trap looming on the outside. Use that curb on the exit then, heading down now the Curva del Seraglio with the DRS wide open, heading towards Ascari of turns 8, 9 and 10. Very easy to overcommit into the first third of Ascari then. And you can see there Spike taking it nice and easy through there. Very easy to over-rotate the rear tyres if you're not careful. And then it's a short run all the way up towards Parabolica. 8th gear here, and you've got plenty of time to think about your braking point here. Where does the Racing Point brake? Just around about 60 metres before the corner. Making our way through Parabolica in 5th gear. Use that green AstroTurf on the left-hand side if you really want to try and get the steering wheel as straight as possible. Heading towards the line, it's a 120.9 from Spike, which is instantly bettered by Slimbo, a 119.5. But that is a lap around the Temple of Speed.
Both very good laps, I've got to say, by Spike. Caught Slimbo about halfway through. Made a slight mistake coming out of Ascari. I'm sure he will try and get that fixed for next time around. But a 119.5, just saying that Recon's going quicker. A 119.2 out on track. So the first lap's getting going. We should see as the track really begins to fill in and really begins to essentially wear off on those tyres, we should see the times get quicker and quicker and quicker, as I've already alluded to. Recon 19.2 currently out on top, so our championship winner from last season out on top.
Yeah, Kalsper, meanwhile, the championship leader, making his way towards the start-finish line. 119.2 from the Toro Rosso, 236 to be exact, compared to Recon's 253. And the championship leader wants to really make a rubber stamp on his championship intentions today. And as we were talking about in the sort of test stream that many people will not have seen, this could be a day where Kalsper all but confirms and all but seals a championship. It won't be done, it can't be won tonight, but there's a very good chance it could be won in the next round if Kalsper plays his cards right.
If Kalsper plays his cards right, he will definitely get somewhere towards a championship win. 123 points, as I say, coming into tonight. Toxic, 66 points coming into tonight, so 57-point gap coming in. Remember, we have got 4 rounds left after this, so I think even if Kalsper wins and Toxic was to DNF, there's a high chance he can win the title, but it probably won't be likely. Hopefully Toxic has a good race and really gives him a good fight out on track. He's currently in the pit lane, so hopefully we'll get to see a lap from him soon. And just to speak about Westy, he is back. Westy is back and in the Alfa Romeo and currently third with a 19.5. Not bad lap that, to be honest. And Slimbo, by the way, improved fourth, a 19.580. So by 300ths of a second separating the second row of the grid currently.
Absolutely. It's great to see with 4 drivers still yet to set a lap time in this qualifying session as we see Westy come back towards that pit lane. That is going to catch a couple of drivers out in the race today. It caught me out in my first ever league race. I overshot the pit lane speed limit line and got myself a 5-second time penalty. I slapped my own wrist for that one and then got slapped by the stewards. So yeah, double whammy on that part. But if you're just wondering when the next round of this season is and where it is, of course, next week we head to Singapore for round 8 of the championship. And as James says, 5 rounds to go, including this one. And it is a really good opportunity for Kalsper to try and take one step and one hand on that trophy. Then Spike going 400ths of a second quicker than his previous lap time, 120.9 on a set of those hard tyres. And meanwhile there you can now see Kelvin come back out of the pit lane. You got Toxic on an outlap there, just making his way through the Rettifilo chicane. Warren is making his way through Ascari, and as we make our way now tiptoeing through, and we now see him go towards Parabolica for the start of his flying lap. Just under 11.5 minutes to go. Kalsper leads Recon by 200ths of a second.
200ths of a second indeed. Sean, by the way, just coming across the line going 8th. He was on a lap 3/10ths quicker and goes ahead of Kelvin, so 121.6 on a set of hard compound tyres. And the Haasman doing a good job out on track so far, 121.6. Inevitably, he could go set of mediums. Although the mediums is going to be that tyre in a bit of no man's land, I think, out on track. We've got Dill Warren, by the way, just starting off on a lap through turns 1 and 2, and now coming through Curva Grande and up towards the Della Roger chicane? No? Have I got that right?
It is Roger chicane, yeah.
The Roger chicane. I was going to say, 25.8 through the first sector, though, and Dill Warren will be hoping to set a good lap, but very, very slow out of there, and nearly losing it. Oh, and he has lost it, surely. How's he recover that?
You know what, we didn't even cover it on the stream there, but Warren just about keeping it in check then as he pulls to one side. This is one problem with the Italian Grand Prix circuit. We saw it in the actual 2019 qualifying session, that Q3, which we never ever talk about ever again. It is a track here that it's so full of high speeds here, then towards chicanes, it's quite tough to actually give way to the car behind you, especially if they're on a flying lap.
It is quite tough, and I think, honestly, these chicanes, with the sleeping policeman mainly on the inside of the curbs as well, it can throw the car off centre of the line coming through the corner. Calvin, by the way, on a lap, he's just coming through the second chicane now, up towards the first Lesbo, and he's 1 second up already. He should be going in around Cass Spike sort of area, I think, with this lap. But saying that, he's gone wide and nearly slightly a commentator's curse there.
That was actually live as you saw it, commentator's curse right there. Let's see through Sector 2 how Kelvin's going to get on as he heads underneath the old oval circuit then, which is disused and beyond repair nowadays. 700 slower through Sector 2 there, and you can see now him tackling Ascari now on towards the back straight, on towards Parabolica. Yeah, I mean, remember in those days? I suppose you don't, James. Neither do I, when they used to race on the actual full circuit plus oval. There was a time when Formula 1 used to do that in the late 60s, and funnily enough Ferrari won that race, so other drivers and teams boycotted that event entirely. So that's a story for another day. Toxic then, 119.210 then in the Red Bull, takes him to that provisional pole position at this moment in time with just under 9 minutes to go.
Great lap that by Toxic, caught the end of his lap, so smooth coming through Ascari, but that's already been bettered by Schiaparelli, completely blown out the water, I think. 4 tenths quicker, Schiaparelli now on top. And Carlsberg's retired from the session, and he's lost it through the second chicane. So Carlsberg, championship leader, out of the session.
That is a huge, huge opportunity to his championship rivals around him. Schiaparelli puts it on provisional pole position. Let's see if Slimbo or Cass caught that action there. No, I can't quite see that Toro Rosso. It probably goes back to Schiaparelli, and the car's already gone. So you can see there that indent in the wall where he lost the car there, Carlsberg. But that is a huge call to action for all of his championship rivals there. They surely have to try and at least take advantage of Carlsberg, who won't get any more fast laps in with a track that's only going to get quicker so long as it stays dry.
Big advantage, I think, for everyone around him as well on the championship standings. I mean, Toxic was ahead of him before he had that moment through turn 5. So it looked like to me Carlsberg got caught on the outside curb, probably spun the car. His left wheel, interestingly, though, off on the car. So I wonder actually if he might have lost it through the gravel trap and then hit the wall and then bounded across the other side of the track. Hopefully he will be able to tell us at some point. Schiaparelli, by the way, about to come back into the picture. Recon, however, is on a lap, just coming down towards Ascari, and, well, I said he was on a lap, he's now 5.8 seconds down.
5.8, that really was a commentator's curse there from you, James, but never mind. 7 minutes to go then in this qualifying session, and Schiaparelli is topping the table with pretty much all the 8, a 118.888 from him, puts him top of the table for now. Recon trying to make his way through the final corner. I wonder if he's going to come back to the pit lane. My inclination is that he is, which he does, in towards that pit lane. Westy, though, 2 tenths quicker than his previous lap. Puts him up to P5 now. Slimbo currently on a flying lap now. Now, this is a circuit where the Ferrari fans will be backing you all the way, and they'll be wanting to see some great, great performances, that Tifosi. The loyal Tifosi to those red Italian cars. It doesn't get much better than that if you could win here in a Ferrari, making his way now through the final corner, through Parabolica, and onwards now towards the start-finish straight. Let's see what Slimbo can do then. Currently in P7, a 119.5. Can he get any quicker than that? Yes, he can. 119.2 then, onto the second row of the grid. Third place to be precise, but yeah, a lot of 119.2s around here, but Slimbo's on the second row for now.
Yeah, just looking at second and fifth, separated by just over 0.04 of a second. That is how tight it is between second and fifth currently at this stage. Add into that Westy 19.3 as well. You've got nearly a tenth and a half separating second to sixth out on track. Italy qualifying is always known for being quite close, but I never think it could get this close.
I mean, it is very, very close indeed. 118.8. It should be a great thing to watch here, but you can see Slimbo making his way now back towards the pit lane. Toxic out there on a lap. Cass is on, no, he's not on a lap, but he's got a Red Bull right behind him. Now, depending who that is, I think that's Toxic, so he was on an out lap, so that's very, very lucky for the Ferrari there. So he's got to be careful about that, especially going into the last 5 minutes. You don't want to be blocking cars behind you. You can face the consequences at the next race.
Yeah, you don't want to be blocking drivers out on track at all. But Toxic, I mean, on an out lap, I think that is Cass behind him, as you say. He just completed a lap, so I think Cass is trying to run this down into the pit lanes. He did improve by about a tenth and a half of a second. Kelvin, by the way, improved to a 20.4. And we've got another one into the 119.2 club. Dill Warren going sixth with a 119.266. 500ths of a second separating the top six.
Yeah, absolutely. 5 drivers in the 119.2s at the moment.
Wow.
Incredibly close. Just to give you some context then, the lap record which is taken in qualifying was in season 12. Well, that's according to the record books. It was a 118.748 by one most successful TTL driver of all time, Blizzard. So we're only a tenth away from that territory. You know what? I think these cars could go even quicker. We could be seeing a new qualifying lap record for TTL F1.
I'm probably thinking around mid 118s, maybe towards the lower end, like a 118.3, possibly. If anybody has with that in them, then they're quite special, I think, around this track. Looking at the drivers then that are coming round to start the lap. Sean, by the way, has just started a lap. He's interestingly gone onto a set of medium compound tyres. The only one that I've seen, certainly, in this session on a set of mediums. So Sean will be hoping to try and get a good lap here. He should be going in and around Cass Kelvin sort of area, I think, with this lap.
Let's have a look and see. Sean is on a flying lap now as we make our way through the Curva Grande. Onwards now towards Roger chicane, turns 4 and 5 as he tries to make his way through here. Very tough chicane to get absolutely spot on. I know that from the many, many hours I put into Monza practice. Making his way through the first Lesmo, now towards the second Lesmo. It's fair to say then, James, that, I mean, you've been watching Sean for a couple of seasons now. It's fair to say that his move back to Haas has actually given him a confidence boost.
It has given him a confidence boost, and honestly, I think out on track, Sean doing a fantastic job currently. 5 tenths up within the middle sector, and as soon as I say that, he invalidated Ascari. But until that point, Sean was going quite well on that lap.
He was indeed, and those medium tyres were looking pretty good, but I don't know if he wants to be starting those. Abu has lost it on the first Lesmo, is that? On the exit of the first Lesmo. I'm just trying to see who is nearby. That was a Williams that we just went through, so I completely missed that one. But there now is a Ferrari making his way through the first Lesmo. Yeah, that's a big up then for Abu. And he's hit the wall on the right-hand side, so that tells me that he's dipped a rear wheel or a rear left tyre on the exit of the first Lesmo, and that's put him straight into the wall and out of this qualifying session no higher than 8th place. Now the thing about Kalsper and Abu is because they crashed out of the session, these tyres can't be used again. Now if they finish in the top 10, they do get to start on a brand new set of tyres, but they have to be locked in on the compound they set their fastest lap on. So at this moment in time, they'll both have to start on a set of new, but locked in soft tyres. If that made any sense, send me a postcard.
It could make sense. It does make sense, honestly. And I think Kalsper and Abu could have a distinct advantage. Remember, what we spoke about earlier on the test stream was that the tyres tend to degrade on the softs about 4 or 5% per lap around here. So them starting off on a fresher set of tyres than people around them, going to be a distinct advantage. And they could maybe eke out another lap or two out on track longer than rivals around them. Of course, Kalsper currently 4th, Abu currently in 8th. And I mean, there's 7 tenths of a second separating the top 8 currently, given that Abu is now at the session. But fantastic, and we are getting down to the nitty and gritty. And just to come in, by the way, Spike 120.2 just improved, as did Gorse with a 120.2 as well. So both them up to 11th and 12th respectively.
Slimbo making his way through the second Lesmo. Lovely line through there, now through the DRS zone, in towards the Curva del Seraglio, and then underneath the old circuit as we make our way over the crest then towards Ascari. Braking hard any moment now for the left-hander. 2/10 up through the middle sector for Slimbo at the moment. On target then for maybe a low 119, but he's got to make this third sector count then as he makes his way all the way towards Parabolica. You've got plenty of time to think about this corner. Down 3 gears, then down to 4 to get the nose in, back up to 5 to help you with traction on the exit here. Slimbo opting to take a narrower line, but it should help him keep his steering wheel as straight as possible. 119.0 from Slimbo puts him on the front row, but Chapelele still on provisional pole position.
Yeah, Chapelele just starting off on the lap as well. 118.8, currently his best. Limble now second. Toxic, by the way, 2/10 up nearly through the first sector. So Toxic clearly hammering and tonguing out on track, quite literally. If that made any sense, send me a postcard. He's invalidated, actually.
Well, he's invalidated the lap, has he? Well, we'll wait to see how wrong you are, James, or how right you are in the next couple of seconds. We've got Recon, who's now started a flying lap. Navy is out there as well. Checkered flag is now out. And there is a racing point heading towards the start-finish line. It is Kelvin making his way around the final corner. Onwards now he will go to the start-finish line. Let's see where he can get. Can he get any higher than 13th? He can improve on his time, but it's no improvement on position. Navy, meanwhile, went 8/10 quicker, but invalidated the lap. He'll have to start from P9. The Red Bull there of, I think that was Toxic there, has now come across the line. Slimbo is on a lap there, but Cass is making his way towards the start-finish line. Half a second up through Sector 2, puts himself on the second row of the grid so far. What about Westy? What can he do? Third place, instantly dislodges the Ferrari from that third place spot. Here is a Williams, though, making his way around Parabolica. Can he try and set a new qualifying lap record here in TTL F1 history? He makes his way towards the line. Is history made? No, it's not, but he does get an even quicker lap time. 18.83 from Chapelele. And we just have one car, I believe, yet to set a lap time as Slimbo comes across the line. It, in the end, was 16 seconds off, but he did invalidate the lap anyway. So all that's left now is, I believe, a lap from Spike and Sean. Recon 18.7 from the Dutchman. 18.7 from the Renault of Recon. Wow. Sean comes across the line to take P13. And Recon there, 118.726. By 200ths of a second. That is your new qualifying lap record here in season number 17. It took 5 seasons for the qualifying lap record to be broken from Blizzard there. Recon's shown up and done the job, and the Dutchman once again takes pole position at the death of the session. What a time!
He likes to leave it late, doesn't he?
He loves to leave it late, but I tell you what, that is an 18.7 there from Recon, which puts him on pole position for the Italian Grand Prix. Chapelele completes the front row with Slimbo in third and Westy fourth. Cass in fifth with Toxic in sixth. Calsper, championship leader, crashing out. He starts from P7 with Warren in P8. Abu in ninth and Navy rounds out the top 10. Spike in 11th, Gort in 12th, Shaw in 13th and Kelvin in 14th place. Of course, the top 10 have to start on the tyre they qualified on, and that will all be the soft tyre. You can see there's Spike setting his personal best lap time on a set of the mediums, 1.5 seconds away from Recon, but to be honest with you, he'll be up there when his stint comes, and I wonder when he will be, well, basically on those set of tyres. But we'll take you through the track map for the Italian Grand Prix. 27 turns, 11 corners, 27 laps I should say, with 11 corners, a race distance of 196.4 kilometres, a lap distance of around 5.793 kilometres. As we saw there, the lap record has been beaten now, 118.728 now, I believe it was, and that is now going to Recon. But the fastest lap in the race is a 120.9 set 2 seasons ago by Spike, who will be starting outside of the top 10. But as you can see, 11 corners around here, short, sharp sectors, and very, very quick lap times. We should see a race to behold on the Temple of Speed. And we're so close now to the formation lap, James. It is almost time for you to try and attempt a top 3 guess.
A top 3 guess. I'll have to wait until everyone comes up. But just to speak about the top 10 in that qualifying session, 9/10 of a second separating the top 10 out on track. 1.5 seconds just under separating the top 14. So all drivers that we've got here tonight. As for the top 3, you know what? I'm going to go Calsper for the win. I just think he might have the pace around here to pull off some unbelievable moves early on. And I think Calsper could really set the track alight tonight. So he is going to win. For second, I'm going to go for Schiaparelli. Looked very good in qualifying. I think the German should do a great job out on the track. And for third, I'm going to go Slimbo. Produced a great performance last time out in Belgium. Finished second. We should see him towards the top 3, I think. Kalsper for the win from 7th.
Well, it wouldn't be a surprise. I mean, he's won his last 3 Grand Prix at Germany, Hungary and Belgium. Obviously, that's 7th place at the British Grand Prix. The only real sore spot on the calendar so far for Kalsper here, but he's had a great season so far. Driver we've already mentioned before this one, Spike. Well, he holds, of course, the race lap record, a 120.983 set back 2 seasons ago, and of course this lap record has to be set during the race. We've already beaten the lap record that was held here for 5 seasons in qualifying. I wonder now if we can get the race lap record too to go along with it.
I think the race record lap will be smashed tonight. I think honestly it's a 120.9. I could honestly see somebody going onto a set of softs if it doesn't go their way and set a 119 towards the latter stages of the race. I honestly think that lap record is there to be broken by the guys out on track.
Remember that time when I said the hard tyres are the ones that are going to be used, no one's going to touch the mediums? Well, everyone outside of the top 10 is starting on the mediums, so that's very helpful from me, isn't it? That is top-class punditry right there. Anyway, Recon rounds Parabolica again to get himself towards the start-finish line. Another pole position for the Dutchman here. He'll be wanting to try and convert this one to a win, and Kalsper starting down in 7th place. Well, funnily enough, that's been his worst finishing position so far this season, a 7th place at the British Grand Prix. Let's see how it goes then towards this one. We are moments away then from the Italian Grand Prix here in TTL F1 League 1. It is a Renault on pole position. The Ferrari start 3rd and 5th with an Italian Alfa Romeo starting in 4th place. Let's see what the starts are like then as we head down towards turn 1 for the very first time. It is a very tricky chicane as we make our way now towards 5 red lights. We are underway, and what are the starts like? It's a great start from Recon, great start from Schiaparelli, and a great start from Casten, who makes it an Italian sandwich then, as the 2 Ferraris touch then, making our way down towards the Rettifilio chicane for the first time. Can they all try and keep it in good nick and in good check? I think everyone's just about made it through. The Gort seems like he's around then at the very first turn. He's lost a chunk of front wing on the left-hand side, so he's made contact with someone. Meanwhile, Toxic and Cass going side by side through the Curva Grande then, as we make our way up towards the Roger chicane. The Ferrari's on the inside here. Slimbo is trying to challenge Westy. Toxic lost the back end on the second part of the Roger chicane, and that is Westy who had to take evasive action there. There's Warren who goes around the outside and says, thank you very much, I'll take that away from you. Navy, while down in 9th place. Abu drops to 10th after all that, and that Toxic back end slide there really set up a concertina for Westy. He had to take evasive action, he had to go on the brakes, and that's cost him 2 positions there outright. But Schiaparelli still leads this one. He's actually overtaken Recon across the screens. Meanwhile, though, Recon apparently goes purple through Sector 2. I'm not sure how true that is, because look at the gap Schiaparelli's got now. 7/10 of a second the Williams driver has, as we make our way up towards Parabolica for the very first time this race. Cass there in 3rd with Toxic 4th. Slimbo running in 5th place with Kalsper in 6th. Warren all runs wide through Parabolica, and Westy takes back a position there, as now Navy looks to try and take advantage as well. That is Westy coming into the pits then. Schiaparelli said in the fast lap of the race, of course he does, he's the first one to it. Warren then pulls to the left hand side out of the slipstream of Navy then, as we make our way now down towards the Rettifilio chicane. Warren on the outside on entry, but he will be able to grab the inside line in towards turn 2 if the Renault can hold on, get the better traction, which the Dutchman can, and Navy moves up a position as Westy has left the session. Warren meanwhile looking on the back of the Renault once again then, as we make our way towards turns 4 and 5. Navy, you can see then, making his intentions clear. He's going defensive in towards the Roger chicane. No way through for Warren, and Abu here 9th place, got a position back. Spike now is into the top 10 and the leader of those that started on the medium tyres, but Schiaparelli now has built up that gap to 1.1 seconds ahead of Recon, with Cass in 3rd.
Great start by Schiaparelli. Recon on the back foot already, and Cass making that terrific start from 5th up to 3rd. Toxic as well up from 4th, up to 4th from 6th position as well. But the Red Bull man just trying to go up the inside of turn 4 at the Roger chicane. Toxic just trying to go up the inside. I think it was Slimbo. Now they've swapped positions. Toxic now on, I would say, on the foot forward compared to Cass, because he looks quicker, I've got to say, than the two ahead of him.
We shall wait and see how it all goes down. Chapalele, another fastest at 4M, 122.1. Warren then on the back of Navy with DRS enabled. Now the first time they'll get to try that is the Curva del Seraglio. Meanwhile then Warren moves to the left hand side as we make our way down towards the Retafilio chicane. He'll have to go around the outside this time and he loses the back end. And there is no way for Abu to go, as that is the Haas there who ploughs into the side of the Mercedes there. No time to react for Sean, and Warren there just, I don't know if he made contact there, James.
He didn't make contact, he just lost it, I think, on the curb, just purely lost it, and pretty much turned turn 1 and 2 into a bit of a car park. Calvin through, though, on Sean, just in front of the action there, and Calvin through, he's up to 10th position, and Kalsper's on the back of Slimbo as well.
Absolutely, Kalsper here will be looking to try and move up the positions as much as he possibly can. He's right on the back of Slimbo here, and look at that, backs out of it down the Curva del Seraglio. He knows there's really no option really to go side by side through Ascari unless you've got brand new fresh tyres, a light car, and you've got a hell of a lot of confidence. There's no way through there. Making our way now up towards Parabolica. Kalsper here looking at the back of that Ferrari.
Chapalelli's made a mistake, I think, out on track. Recon's 3.5 tenths off. Chapalelli under pressure from Recon. He must have made a mistake through Ascari.
Well, that's one place he could have made it. He could have made it through Parabolica as well, mind. But here comes Recon. And, of course, now he's in DRS range, which is not what the race leader wanted at all. Kalsper, meanwhile, moves up ahead of the Ferrari of Slimbo, as we've got Abu and Sean now coming into the pits to repair damage on their cars. I wouldn't be surprised to see Abu there go onto the set of hard tyres to get him to the end of the race. He doesn't really want to do a two-stop around here, and that's exactly what he's done. Hard tyres go onto the car. So too does Sean's. So they're looking to go to the end of the race now and just try and get those cars and keep them on track as much as possible. But there's your battle for the lead right here. Chapalele leads by 0.3 of a second ahead of Recon. Cass in third and Toxic in fourth place with Kalsper 1.9 seconds behind. But if these four start battling, don't rule him out to try and close the gap.
Yeah, Toxic right on the back of Cass. Look at this, down towards Ascari, the Ferrari and the Red Bull, pretty much like real life. This Toxic trying to go around the outside on Cass, round the right side of Ascari. Can he get the move done? He's run into the gravel. He gets it done. I would say off track, to be honest. He wasn't ahead going into the corner, so Toxic might just have to give up that position, but he's through and he's up to third for now.
Well, he's up to third for now. I mean, he clipped the gravel as well, don't forget. That would have slowed him down majorly if he still got the move done. Meanwhile then, Recon on the back of Chapalele as we make our way down the start-finish straight for the fourth time at this race to start lap number 5. Recon closing at a rate of knots here. Moves to the right-hand side, and Chapalele here really has nothing to defend with, and that is the Renault moving up back into the lead of the race. Meanwhile, behind them, Slimbo has got back ahead of Kalsper. As you can see there, Cass has missed the first chicane and picks up a 3-second time penalty. Now, if you miss the chicane, you really have to back off. It really doesn't like it if you miss the chicane, that it's the man-made chicane anyway that's been set up. Abu has had a big moment there on the exit of Ascari. That's Abu, that's the Gaunt involved as well in that one. I'm not entirely sure what happened there, but two cars involved. Was Westy involved in it as well? I'm not entirely sure. Oh, well, he's left the session anyway. But Abu and the Gaunt there involved in an incident. I didn't quite see what happened there.
Yeah, I think Abu, to be honest, might have had contact with the Gaunt, so that's probably what has happened there. Just bear with me.
I suppose I will. Chapalele then making his way now in towards Ascari through 8, 9 and 10. Toxic picking up a 3-second time penalty. There's yellow flags in Sector 3, as I think that might be an impending retirement on the cards, but we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out then as they make their way now through Parabolica. Recon leading the way ahead of Chapalele in this Italian Grand Prix. Chapalele in the slipstream once again. Can he repay the favour here for Recon as they now lap the Gaunt and Abu, who are currently in the pit lane? Chapalele moves to the right-hand side then. The Williams looks like is going to take back the race lead here at the Italian Grand Prix. Meanwhile, Toxic is at third place, and Slimbo and Kalsper battling in towards the Retafilio chicane. Kalsper has got the move done, and Slimbo going across those curbs there picks himself up a 3-second time penalty, but Kalsper was already ahead and had got the move done.
Yeah, Calsper had the drag down towards turn 1. Symbol had Cass pretty much behind. Symbol was behind Cass, trying to get the slipstream up. And I'll tell you what, Calsper could pick up another position here because Cass has just stripped his rear wheel, I should say, into the gravel. So now Calsper beginning to pressurise Cass, and he's just beginning to make a few mistakes out on track. Calsper looking to be the hunter now out on track.
Absolutely, Calsper looking for a move then. Will he go for a move towards Ascari? Under the bridge he goes, and he's got the move done before the braking zone. Calsper up to 4th place to this dismay of the Tifosi who've turned up to see the 2 Ferraris here today. Meanwhile, Chapelele just keeps 4/10 gap to himself and Recon. Toxic not far away either. Warren now is trying to move up and position in towards Ascari. He's now ahead of Kelvin then. Up to P8 he will go. The race lead here. Oh, I think Warren's lost it and retired from the session on the exit of Ascari. I just cut away from it there because he'd lost the back end. I saw that out of the corner of my eye. I didn't think it was real, but he has lost the back end, and that is Warren out of the Italian Grand Prix. Toxic trying to take full advantage of Recon, who's trying to battle away here. Meanwhile, Calsper is trying to hold off the 2 Ferraris here as Cass moves onto the gravel there, doing a maze of seasons and seasons ago. It was season 7 that Maze hit the gravel there, going side by side with someone. But in any case, oh, that's the Red Bull there of Toxic going and missing that chicane. He takes that escape road that's marked in yellow and avoids getting a penalty by doing so. But yeah, missed that braking point and did the right thing by just missing the chicane entirely. If he honestly continued with that, he would have went into the back of Recon. Toxic taking good avoiding action there. Got to say, he has lost time. Recon, though, and Chapelele just maybe beginning to dominate now. The race beginning to fall apart behind them. Cass making a few mistakes, and Chapelele is under pressure here from Recon. Recon a lot quicker there through Ascari, and now on the run towards Parabolic with 0.2 of a second. Toxic could yet come back into this, and I think he's just within DRS range, coming up towards Parabolica as well. So this could benefit Toxic rather than Recon out on track. Let's see then, Recon in towards the slipstream as we start soon the 8th lap of this race with 20 laps to go here at Monza. And Recon, the Dutchman, looking for a move. Then look at that with the DRS wide open, 351 kph. He gets the move done then. Oh, but he's lost the back end. He's overcooked it then in towards the Retafilio chicane, and all that hard work, he's missed his braking point, locked the rears, and almost lost the car entirely. Chapelele will get that position back. Meanwhile then, Toxic will try and move around the outside, but Recon has really turned up that ERS battery and does not want to be overtaken again. 2nd place for Recon there, with Toxic lurking and always reminding him, Recon there, that if he makes a mistake, he will be punished for it.
How on earth Recon did not pick up a time penalty there through turn 1 and 2 either is beyond me. 0.9 of a second off Chapelele, and Chapelele, interestingly, I think the pressure of him being the leader currently out on track may be beginning to get to him. He's just creeping in a couple of little niggly mistakes out on track. Nothing as severe as what we've seen behind, but Chapelele might just beginning to lose the confidence in those tyres. And Recon, a lot quicker again. Chapelele's really feeling the effects of those tyres out in front.
Absolutely is, and half a second shows you that. Toxic, meanwhile, looking at the back of that Renault then as we make our way in towards Parabolica for the 8th time in this race. We'll have to wait and see what everybody does in terms of the pit window. Chapelele pits in, so too does Recon. That was a late call from the Renault. That was a late call for Toxic as well. And Toxic's lost front wing there, I believe, on the left-hand side because he left the braking too late. Calsper will inherit the lead. Navy will move up to 2nd. Let's see if the Red Bulls actually fix the front wing. They do. So that's lucky that they had the front wing ready there. Recon will move out of the pit lane. Then Chapelele. Toxic's retired from the session entirely. Now, I don't know why he's done that.
I honestly don't... I'm lost for words. That's a bit critical, I think, to retire, to be honest. I think he was in a very good position. He was on a set of hard compound of tyres. I'm not sure why he is retired out of the session. There was good points up for grabs. I mean, Calsper is now leading the race. He still would have been in and around those guys towards the end of the race. Remember, if he went on that set of hards and continued, he would have been on the fresher tyres towards the end of the race. A little bit questionable, that one.
It could have been a mixture of trying to change the front wing, but then accidentally knocking the notch of the tyres there towards the hards. Maybe he wanted to go on to the medium tyres, and that frustration compounds, and that's the end of his day. But thrown away a good chance of points here today for Toxic. More importantly, for Calsper, that's one less position to worry about.
Yeah, Carlsberg really beginning to attribute himself well out on the track, and I've got to be honest, Chapelelli and Recon 0.5 of a second, but Slimbo was beginning to sneak into contention. Surely my prediction is not coming right.
Oh, surely not. It's your prediction. How could it be right? Recon, though, is putting that pressure again on Chapelelli. Chapelelli closes in on Kelvin up ahead in towards Parabolica, but Kelvin is yet to stop. He started, actually he pitted in very early on to go into a set of medium tyres. We don't expect him to take those tyres to the end of this race. Chapelelli is so much quicker than the Racing Point off the exit of Parabolica. He's got to be careful though of the Renault behind him, and the Racing Point here lets the Williams go. What about the Renault, who's trying to follow suit then all the way through in towards the Retifido chicane, and the Racing Point I think rather lets them go. I don't think he was putting up too much of a fight there, was Kelvin. But Recon now doesn't lose too much time in his chase down for second place here. Navy still leads the way. 9-lap-old soft tyres so far on that Renault, but we are expecting him to pit soon.
Yeah, Carlsberg, by the way, just coming into the pits there. He's out in front of Slimbo, so those positions have pretty much remained as they are before the pit stops actually happen. So Carlsberg still ahead and probably in with a good chance of taking the race win, but Kelvin is ahead of him, and that is going to be a worry, I think. Kelvin slower than Carlsberg could just let Chapelelli and Recon maybe get an advantage that Carlsberg cannot get back towards the end of the race. Recon, by the way, on the back of Chapelelli, much quicker through this section of the track. The Chapelelli now on fresher tyres beginning to put the hammer down, but this is looking like a very good race.
It is indeed. Carlsberg right on the back of Kelvin. Meanwhile then Recon is right on the back of Chapelelli. Navy has come into the pits then, and Recon now sees the opportunity to try and make this move stick then. Down the start-finish straight we go. Recon on the back of the Williams then with the DRS wide open now as he moves to the left-hand side. There goes the Renault then to take back the lead of the Italian Grand Prix here in TTL F1 League On. You see Kelvin there trying to make a switch back on Carlsberg work, but it didn't quite work there. Slimbo slows that car down in time to not run into the back of Kelvin. Now as we head in towards the Curva Grande then, Slimbo right on the back of the Racing Point. Slimbo moves to the inside there. You can see then Kelvin opens that door as we make our way now down towards the Rogier chicane, and you can see there Kelvin letting Slimbo go here. I think he realises that maybe the guys around him, if he battles them too much, he's on a two-stop strategy. He wants to just be setting laps on his own here.
Yeah, Kevin will be thinking about his own race, I think, out on the track. And 0.8 of a second away from Slimbo isn't too bad considering he's on 10-lap-old mediums. The further he gets in that into the race on a set of mediums, the more chance he'll have on getting a set of softs towards the end of the race. So that's what he might be hoping above else for. Chapelelli 0.5 away from Recon out on track, but now Carlsberg free of the traffic, dragging Slimbo alongside him. First, second, third and fourth is going to be covered, I think. You can pretty much throw a blanket all over these in the next couple of laps or so.
Well, Chapelelli is looking to put pressure on Recon once again then as we head our way around the final corner for the 11th time in this Italian Grand Prix. Lap 12 out of 27. Chapelelli half a second back, but he just looks a little bit too far back, maybe for a lunge in towards the Retifido chicane, but again just a little bit too far back. Then Carlsberg being closed up by Slimbo then in towards the Retifido chicane. Now we head through the Curva Grande. Is there any chance that Slimbo can stay on the back of the championship leader here, heading through that banked turn 3 onwards then towards the Rogier chicane? Chapelelli meanwhile up ahead, 3.5 tenths behind Recon then as they're coming up to back markers. That's Westy up ahead, who's on 9-lap-old soft tyres. It's not gone well for him. Of course, the back marker's Ghost, which I don't know, that takes out the challenge of trying to lap for the leaders there, but in any case it's happened and he's ghosted and they're through. They put a lap all on him there. Slimbo meanwhile, just because the lap car is a ghost car, that doesn't mean it makes it any easier. You've still got a car there that in real, or if you were in the old updates, that would have been a car to pass, but we've all tried to pass a ghost car. It's not as easy as you think.
It's not as easy. I think it's actually tougher to pass a ghost car because you don't really know and can't really predict what they're going to do. Obviously, they're going to move out the way, but you don't know what direction they're going to go in, and that is the off-putting factor when you're a driver out on track. Schiaparelli, by the way, on the back of Recon, running down the straight to start lap 13. Schiaparelli to the inside line. You know where this one's going. The Williams man is through the German through, and he takes back the lead of the race. But the yo-yo effect beginning to happen here out on track. Halsberg and Slimble will be hoping to get some sort of crack at these two guys in the next couple of laps or so.
We head through the Curva Grande once again. Recon right behind then as we make our way towards the Roger chicane. He moves to the right hand or left hand side of the track, I should say, right hand side of your cameras, but no way through for Recon there as we make our way through towards the first Lesmo, then towards the second Lesmo. 2/10 separates the two leaders so far. There you can see Slimbo in fourth place right now. Just to take you on to the grand scheme of things, fastest lap of the race so far, 21.5 there from Spike. Now he is of course the original lap record holder for the race, but at the moment there we're still quite a way off, but we've only just about reached half distance, and I think next lap will be half race distance, so it's a lower tank of fuel. We should hopefully see faster laps in this one. Recon then right behind Schiaparelli then in this one, and you can see he's trying to close up that gap as much as he possibly can. You can see as well Cass on the back of Kelvin here towards Parabolica. No way through for Cass there, but Kelvin's run very wide there in towards Parabolica, and Cass says thank you very much, I'll take that away from you, and he moves up a position. Of course now Kelvin tries to get the slipstream, but here's where Cass will have the DRS, and Kelvin quickly realises that and tries to tuck into the slipstream to get a little bit of a speed boost down towards the first chicane, but he doesn't go for the move there, so he's let that one go unfortunately, but he's still running in sixth place, yet to stop in this race.
Gotta say, he's sticking well actually to the back of Cass, even after Cass got that move done. Kelvin really driving a good race. He could be on possibly for an 8th position when he comes into the pit, so he's doing a good job out on track. Recon, by the way, Schiaparelli, but look who is getting into contention. My prediction for the race from a Carlsberg from 7th on the grid. Oh, Slimble goes wide in the background of shot. That costs him nearly 0.6 of a second when it comes down towards Ascari. Carlsberg on the back of Recon, he's just hanging back a little, I think. He predicts, I think, what is going to happen between Schiaparelli and Recon, and Carlsberg will be hoping for a double toe down the straight towards turn 1.
Let's have a look and see what happens then. Recon still leads the charge then for the lead of the race. Schiaparelli is almost the target here as we make our way through Parabolica. You can see there Schiaparelli runs wide to try and get onto that sort of AstroTurf surface to make sure he's got the straightest wheel possible down the start finish straight. You can see that straight wheel in effect. Schiaparelli moves to the racing line. Recon goes up the inside in towards turn 1 then. He'll be on the outside for turn 2, but he might get the better traction off the corner. They're going to be side by side then as we head through Curva Grande. Then Schiaparelli's just about ahead, but you can see there Recon's keeping a front wing in. The curved banking allowing Recon to go back up the inside as we make our way now towards the Roger chicane. Once again the Renault on the outside. Schiaparelli has the inside of the corner, and Schiaparelli holds on to the lead of the race.
One of the best pieces of defensive driving you'll probably ever see around Italy. Schiaparelli doing a masterclass there, I've got to say. Recon in second, Carlsberg in third. They're now dropping Slimbo, so these front three now beginning to make themselves known, I think, for the top 3 spots. Recon on the back of Schiaparelli. Is he going to try it down towards Ascari? He's got the inside line pretty much open there for him if he wants to go, but Recon is on the back foot. Now coming through as he catches the curb slightly. Schiaparelli just gets a little bit of a buffer, but now Carlsberg right on the back. This is exciting, this.
This is absolutely thrilling, isn't it? A battle for the lead of the race between these 3 cars as we make our way through Parabolica for the 15th time in this race then. Making our way towards the start-finish line. Recon a little bit further back from Schiaparelli than maybe he would prefer. This opportunity has been presented to Carlsberg. How will he take this then? Schiaparelli trying to break the slipstream to Recon. You can see Carlsberg looking for a move up the inside, but all 3 of them pretty much hold firm in towards that first chicane, and you can see there Recon has closed right up to the back of the Williams once again as Carlsberg looks for an opportunity for second place in this one. Through the Curva Grande, they all go on towards the Rogier chicane. Recon looking to the left-hand side to try and move down the inside this time around. Has he got the corner stuck? Yes, he has. Recon takes the lead of the Italian Grand Prix out the Rogier chicane, and Kalsper there was rather hung out to dry because Chapelele left the door open, ran a bit wide, tried to prioritise the exit and the apex of the second part of the Rogier chicane, and Kalsper pretty much had to take evasive action. He's fallen a bit behind now, but now the two of them have to work together once again to catch the leader, the Dutchman Recon.
Yeah, Recon beginning to excel here in Italy, and I've got to say, Chapelele is now on the back foot because Kalsper is again right on the back of him. Slimball's getting closer as well, now only 2.1 seconds off. Kelvin, by the way, and Sean are battling. Kelvin just recently out of the pits on a set of soft compounder tyres. They're going up towards the first Lesmo on the mini-map, but Kalsper, Chapelele runs a little bit wide. This is his opportunity, and Kalsper's easily going to get it done. Not even before the start-finish line he's going to get it done. He's got the DRS now. He can hope that Chapelele will tug in alongside him to try and get the tow down towards Recon. 1.1 seconds ahead, though. Recon still leads. Kalsper second and Chapelele in third. Kalsper had that wrapped up just out of Parabolica.
Yeah, absolutely, and that mistake proved crucial there from Chapelele for Kalsper to move up a position. Sean then is under pressure from Kelvin this time around. We've got yellow flags in sector 1, and that's the Gort then, who is around then at the first chicane. He makes his way back onto track.
Yeah, he went down the escape road. I think it was to get out the way of some of the oncoming cars around him. So Gort just purely using the escape road there as a bit of a ploy to get out the way and to give everyone behind a bit of a fair battle. Slimbo again just running wide in the background there through the second Lesmo. He's really not liked that corner at all tonight, and he's now 3.2 seconds off. I think you're looking maybe at the top 3 here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've just seen Kelvin get a move done on Sean, but the two of them are battling their way now on towards the Rogier chicane, and Kelvin on fresh soft tyres can't find the way past Sean just yet. Sean was aggressive in taking that corner. He said, "That's mine, you're not having it." As we now make our way through the Lesmos, we rejoin then the battle for the lead of this race. Recon starts lap number 18. We have 10 laps to go here at Monza. Kalsper is in second place, Chapelele in third. One of them, I think, is going to win this race. The Ferraris then, Slimbo in fourth place, 3.8 behind Chapelele, and Cass is 5.4 behind Slimbo.
Kalsper just went a little bit too deep there in towards turns 1 and 2, and he's lost pretty much 0.2 of a second there to Recon. Chapelele now on the front foot to get alongside him, but it's 4.5 tenths as I was doing a bit of a double duty there, shut my curtains at the same time. Kelvin's on the back of Sean still as well, 0.2 of a second separate. No, and Kelvin actually runs into the back of Sean coming through the Parabolica. So clearly not really liking, well, he's liking those softs, but he's not liking the car ahead going a little bit too slow into the corners for him. So now Kelvin down the straight on the left-hand side, job done. Hopefully he's now got this position wrapped up like a ring on his finger.
Yeah, they both
he went too deep.
They both sort of overcooked that first part there. Meanwhile, joining the battle for the lead once again, because that fell to 1/10 of a second. Meanwhile, Recon just about holding on to this one. Kalsper in second, Chapelele in third place. The Williams here has lost out the most in all effect, but making his way now through Parabolica. I just want to have a look on board with Sean, actually, because at the moment, he is one of the biggest gainers in this race overall, if I can find the right graphic. There you can see 4 places up, but Kelvin actually 6 places up. Kalsper then looking for a move down the start-finish straight with the DRS and getting the move done, does he? Yep, he nicks that apex of turn 1 and gets the move done. He's back into the lead of this one.
Lap pressure tyres beginning to come into play. Chapelele just had a little bit of opposite lock there coming out of turn 2. So now Chapelele is on the back foot again, and the German really maybe beginning to struggle slightly. The front two are now ahead. Kalsper and Recon now 0.3 of a second separating. But Kalsper you would surely favour on a lap pressure tyres around here. If we speak about that in length, as Recon runs wide through the first Lesbo, if we speak about that in length, Kalsper will have about 3 or 4% better tyres towards the end of the race compared to Recon.
Yeah, absolutely. The Recon here is really closing in on the back of Kalsper as we make our way now in towards the Ascari chicane. Who is going to come out on top then? I can't wait to see how this all finishes. Can you, James?
It's going to be really, really tense, I think, for the next, 8 laps or so. Schiaparelli be hoping to try and get the run on Recon and Carlsberg, but this is going to a grandstand finish. Is this the race of the season I promised?
Well, I mean, you've already promised quite a few races of the seasons. One of them's got to stick eventually. Recon, meanwhile, is on the back of Carlsberg. Lap 20 of the Italian Grand Prix. 8 laps to go. Recon looking for a move once again past the Toro Rosso in towards the Retafilio chicane, and there's Schiaparelli trying to take advantage in towards turn 1. Recon's got it all wrong, and Schiaparelli could try and take full advantage, and he does. Traction on the exit there. Recon got it wrong halfway through the chicane. The car almost just locked up on him there. Recon now looking for a move around the outside of Curva Grande and trying to get him an inside move in towards the Roggia chicane, but no such move exists, and Schiaparelli will be absolutely loving that one. He just chose the right place at the right time, and he takes the lead of the race.
It was like the parting of the Red Sea on the inside of the curve there at turn 2, if I've got to be honest. Schiaparelli making that stick. Recon just went too deep in towards turn 1. Carlsberg as well got caught in a little bit of a box effect, so that's why he's lost the position as well. But Schiaparelli nicking up the inside. It's almost as if he's just joined the race. Fantastic move.
Yeah, it's great stuff, isn't it? Recon probably didn't expect that one from Schiaparelli there. Carlsberg still in 3rd place. Meanwhile, Navy, it started 10th place, now trying to chase down Cass then. Cass runs wide on the exit of Ascari. That could provide Navy with an opportunity down the start-finish straight. We shall wait and see. Recon, meanwhile, looking to try and convert pole to the win. Round to the left-hand side he goes with that DRS and takes that lead back once again. Schiaparelli drops to 2nd place. Meanwhile, Carlsberg was thinking of a move down the inside there, but no way through for him. Meanwhile, then Cass under pressure from Navy, and Navy with the DRS gets the move done. He moves now up to P5.
Yeah, Navy getting an easy move done there, down towards turns 1 and 2, down into the Retafilio chicane.
Here's Carlsberg.
Carlsberg.
Carlsberg tried around the outside, but Schiaparelli was always going to have that one covered. Carlsberg's actually just gone purple through the first sector there, trying to chase down Schiaparelli. And, well, we have that in effect there. Carlsberg, meanwhile, still trying to look for the race win here. One performance that I just need to pick out in a moment's time, once this battle's actually settled down, if it does settle down at all. We'll get onto that fact in a minute. Sector 2, there is a yellow flag. I think that's the Gort who's around, and it is. That's on the exit of the Roggia chicane. And meanwhile, then, the top 3 still battling away as we head towards Parabolica. Once again, for the 21st time this race, we'll see how he gets on. Carlsberg in 3rd place, Schiaparelli 2nd, but race leader right now is Recon.
Yeah, I can't see anybody getting the move done, I think, down in towards turn 1. 22 out of 27, 6 laps to go, including this one. I mean, Recon has really driven very astute race out on track. Schiaparelli trying to look to the inside line, a little bit late on the brakes, but all get through in pretty much single file out on track. And I think I know where you're going to go with where I'm going to pick up on Spike in 8th position. Let's cut to him, I think, while this battle has settled down slightly.
Yeah, Spike up 8 positions, or up to 8th place, I should say, up 3 positions. Great race for him so far. He's obviously on a more aggressive strategy, which means he has to do more overtaking and faster laps throughout. He started outside the top 10, didn't he? Up 3 places, and he's trying to chase down his teammate in Kelvin. Now, Kelvin up 7 places from his starting position, started last place in this race, is up to 7th place right now, and Spike there with the fastest lap of this race, a 1:21.1 here from Spike, as that moves him ever closer to breaking his own race lap record.
Just looking at through Ascari there between the top 3. Oh, Carlsberg having a right moment there on the exit of the Ascari chicane. Somehow recovered that. Just a little bit of opposite luck rather than anything else. But these 3 have really gapped Slimbo. Slimbo has struggled his way through the 2nd stint. And he's really... But he was my prediction for 3rd. And I mean, yeah, let's just ignore that one. Carlsberg right on the back of Schiaparelli. This is for the race lead.
Schiaparelli moves to the right-hand side then to try and take the race lead away from Recon once again, and down towards turn 1. He gets that move secured, but don't think it's over, not by a long shot. Carlsberg looking at the back of the Renault then as we head through the Curva Grande. Schiaparelli trying to again extend his lead, but look at Recon, look at the speed he manages to carry through Curva Grande, almost able to launch an attack then around the outside in towards the Rogers chicane. But I think Recon could see into the future there, because he knew if he tried to move there on Chapelele, it probably would have ended up wrong.
Yeah, it would have been a risky affair, I think, for Recon to try and get the move done there. But he had the speed. He's always looked very good through that section of the track currently tonight. So Kalsper now will be hoping that Recon now can drag him into play. Kalsper right on the back. I tell you what, could be through by Daniel Ascari. It is. Kalsper's going down the inside of both of them. Kalsper down the inside on Chapelele. Oh, they make contact, and that's inevitable.
Chapelele into the wall. And Kalsper will take the lead of this race. But James, you had a better view of that one. What happened there?
Yeah, Chapelele, I think, and Kalsper just made a little bit of contact going through the corner. So Chapelele spinning on the exit of the turn. Not sure if it was interfered with contact, but that is what happened there. And Chapelele, unfortunately, down now into 6th position. And that's ruined what could have been a very, very good battle between the three of them.
Well, what that does mean is now Kalsper, championship leader, takes back the lead of this one. But I wonder for how much longer. Recon in 2nd place there, 3/10 behind. Looks like the Toro Rosso has got away scot-free in terms of damage. That promotes Slimbo up to 3rd place here. But he's got to be careful because Navy is trying to chase him down.
Yeah, Navy is chasing them down. He's 3.7 seconds behind. Two-lap pressure tyres on a set of mediums compared to him, but Cass is sticking with Navy. And if Navy can drag Cass along, we could see a Tifosi, one of the Tifosi's at least, getting onto the podium. I think in terms of the gap, Slimbo, I think, has pretty much got that gap now stabilised. I mean, it's 3.8 seconds. I don't see that gap coming down completely unless he makes a mistake.
4/10 right now between Cass and Navy. 4/10 right now between Recon and Kalsper. It's a little bit of no man's land in the sort of midfield there. Chapelele has pitted in for a brand new set of soft tyres. He's rejoined just ahead of Kelvin, and I think there's only one thing on Chapelele's mind now, and that's to go for the fastest lap. Now, can he try and get the race lap record, I wonder?
I think he can. I think he can. We said it earlier on. I mean, the current lap record, if I just get it up on the on my graphic, 120.983 for Spike. Currently, the fastest lap of the race was set by Spike, 21.1. If Chapelele can set anything like a qualifying time around here, we should see maybe sneaking into the 120. It's there to be broken, is all I'm going to say. It's only 2/10 from Spike.
Yeah, this could be a season or a race where we get both race records in the season here, but Recon really trying to put pressure on Kalsper here. Neither of these two drivers will be worrying about fastest lap just yet. They'll be wondering if they can get as fast as they possibly can on their worn medium tyres. With only a handful of laps to go, it is 3 laps to go, 2 and a bit if you're picky. Meanwhile, Spike here is on the back of his teammate. Spike with the DRS moves to the left-hand side and moves ahead of Kelvin, and I think there was a slight bit of team orders in that one. Spike now moves up to 7th place.
Yeah, very good move there. Kelvin just going a little bit too deep there towards the Retophilia chicane through turns 1 and 2. But Spike through, inevitably going to get that move done. Recon and Kalsper, though, just to speak about their fastest laps, by the way, how about this for consistency? 122.253 Kalsper, 122.225 Recon, 122.299 Slimbo.
It's not bad, is it? That's for sure. 2 laps to go here then in the Italian Grand Prix, and Kalsper leads the way ahead of Recon right now. We're making our way now down towards that Retophilia chicane. I think Recon's now realised that you want to be the one with DRS on the final lap, heading down the start-finish straight. Chapelele picks up a 3-second time penalty, which I think means he won't be able to set a valid lap time this time around. Normally, if you pick up a penalty, it doesn't count that lap time, even if it is the fastest lap of the race. Let's have a see then and see if it does count it. Let's see then around the final corner towards the start-finish straight. Is this the moment for Chapelele? Is this going to be the moment he breaks the lap record? No. 120.992 from Chapelele. So close, but not quite yet.
Yeah, we're getting close, I think. Here comes Recon on the back of Kalsper, running down towards the Ascari, but again, he's going to wait for the final lap. It's going to be a last lap attack. Sneaky, but deadly, I think, from Recon on the final lap of the race.
Yeah, this is where you want to be. You want to be the last person across that line that has the available DRS. That's where the advantage lies. You can see Kalsper trying to break the slipstream up towards Parabolica. Is it anything to do there? Championship leader currently leads the way. He really wants to finish there after starting 7th in this race. Recon, meanwhile, is right on the back of Kalsper now. Into the DRS zone we go. Final lap of this race. Kalsper moves to the right-hand side. Recon moves to the left as we head now down towards the Retifidio chicane. Recon on the outside there. They make contact, the two of them. Kalsper tries to squeeze Recon out there, and Recon knows now that Kalsper is defending this one aggressively. He does not want to let this race win go.
Yeah, messed up his braking point there, Kalsper. That's why the contact was made. And I thought he had a right rear puncture, Kalsper, but he doesn't. That's just my eyesight going right there. Recon now under pressure. And I think, to be honest, the gap might remain as it is, because I don't see Recon having another go at Kalsper.
He's got a DRS straight heading towards Ascari. You can see Kalsper there didn't quite get the first Lesmo right. He didn't get the second one right either. Here's Recon then. Who knows? This is a chance then. This is his chance to try and grab the race win. Recon around the outside in towards Ascari. He's got the move done. Moves into the lead of the Italian Grand Prix then. Up to the lead he goes through Ascari. Can Kalsper find anything? He loses the back end slightly on the exit of turn 10 here. Now towards Parabolica. This could be a photo finish now. He's got to get one more braking zone right and hit one more apex. Recon around the final corner. It is going to be a drag to the line, but Recon here should be able to hold on to win the Italian Grand Prix by 1/10 of a second. What a drive from Recon. Pole to the win. But it's not as simple as that. Slimbo onto the podium, but swiftly taken off it by Navy through penalties. Cass then in 5th place. Shapalele, who will be trying to drive as hard as he possibly can. Let's have a look and see what the fastest lap of the race is so far. Well, you can see 20.992. It's just literally a couple of feet in towards the next corner. That's all he needs. It's only 100th of a second. Is this the moment? Can he try and break the lap record here? No, he can't. A 21.5 from him is his final attempt. Spike will come across the line to finish in P7, with Kelvin following suit in P8 there. That's not a bad haul of points there for the racing points. And Sean then, the last of the lead lap runners, I believe, as the Gort there is in 11th. Westy will come across the line in 12th, although he does not finish because he is a ghost car. So Sean will come across the line to finish in 9th place, and the Gort will finish in 11th. But your race winner from pole to the win, but it's never as easy as that. Recon wins the Italian Grand Prix. And an absolutely brilliant battle between the top three until it went slightly wrong. Recon knew he had to take full advantage of that one. He is the winner of the Italian Grand Prix.
Deserves it. Outdrove our championship leader tonight, and Recon left it late. Sneaky but deadly, as always, for Recon, I think, out on track. And the current championship leader, Kalsper, taking a slight hit, but he'll be buoyed by the fact that Toxic DNF'd out of the race. So that is his big advantage going into next week.
Absolutely. Well, let's have a look at the official, unofficial results then for the Italian Grand Prix. Recon then wins in Italy. It's Kalsper 2nd, Navy in 3rd, Slimbo 4th, with Cass in 5th, Shapalele 6th, Spike in 7th, Kelvin 8th, Sean in 9th, and Abu rounds out the top 10. Gort in 11th, Westy 12th, Toxic and Warren didn't finish, neither will Westy, because he got to the line as a ghost car. Those are your official, unofficial results here. And correct me if I'm wrong, for Recon, pole and the win. A dominant weekend for him. That's his first pole of the season, and that's his first win of the season.
It is, and it follows actually the record set by Kalsper last week. Pole and the win last week from Belgium for Kalsper, and that is the 5th time this season we have seen a pole sitter take the race win this season out of 7 races.
Yeah, incredible, isn't it? Pole position in this series means everything, but don't let that stat fool you. Recon had to work hard for that race win. Notable mentions, Navy from 10th to 3rd. A great drive from him to get his way onto the podium. Unfortunate for the Ferraris, they miss out on that podium. Slimbo, they did cross the line 3rd, but through penalties dropped down to 4th place. So the Tifosi denied a chance to see a Ferrari driver on the podium. But Recon, with his first pole position of the season, with his first race of the season, and not a bad time at all to get it.
Yeah, not at all not a bad time to get it at all. And honestly, he was something like his old best last season from his championship win. Have we just seen possibly the championship winner of last season and the championship leader of this season start a bit of a feud in the next couple of weeks? I cannot wait to see what happens next time out.
Well, remember that Recon's previous best result in the series was a third place at the British Grand Prix. That's the only other time, other than this race, that he's been on the podium, so he'll be absolutely amazed by that. But of course, everything goes to the stewards now, and of course, the drivers vote for their driver of the day. It's not a public vote, it is a driver vote, that one. But I think I can see Navy being quite a popular vote. I mean, from 10th to 3rd, that was a great drive from him.
Great drive from him. Navy deserves third. Not one of my predictions went right as well, which is typical of me. But Navy did a fantastic job out on track, and the Dutchman, I think, deserves my drive of the day, certainly.
Well, thank you very much for watching here on TTTV. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you click the notification bell so you're notified every time one of the series goes live. Next time we're live is tomorrow night, and I believe you're joining the lovely Mr. James for that one.
Yes, I will be live alongside Paco Suarez for TTL F1 League 2. Hopefully, we are going to see a stream on YouTube. If I can't stream through my own channel, it will have to be done through the old-fashioned way of streaming through Twitch, which I've never used before.
Yeah, well, good luck with that, and hopefully you can watch James get it horribly wrong tomorrow. No, I'm kidding, I'm joking. Of course, next race will be at Singapore, a tough track on the calendar, one of the most demanding tracks on the calendar. It's a long time, and if there's any sight of rain, we could be racing for an hour at least. Hope you can join us for then. Until next time, thank you very much for watching. I've been Kieran McGinley.
I've been James Head.
Take care of yourselves, and we will see you next time.